Let's see who we got in here so far this morning. Sly Dev, what's up? Happy Friday. 6-8 Spin Drift says, thank God it's Friday. What's going on? Good morning. Brian Sanders, Blue. What's up, everybody who's in here early with me? Thanks for joining. All right, so what we got going on this morning? The SPY yesterday really took off early on, jumping up to 441. Started dipping down throughout the rest of the day, and looks like it's heading back up right now. Closed yesterday at 438.66. Currently at 439. Take a look at the daily chart here. Yeah, I mean, it got all the way up here to 441 yesterday. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, but I had mentioned, someone had asked, like when I would be looking to get back into DraftKings and some of my other plays that I cashed out on. And, for right now, at least, I'd like to see us break above this, not break above, but like close above this 50-day moving average, at least, just to kind of, because otherwise we're just getting a bunch of chop back and forth. And, now we have a gap to the downside that, technically should be filled at 435. We just filled this gap to the upside yesterday right here at 441. It could be looking to kind of head back down again. I mean, there's just so much uncertainty in the market that I'm trying to play it safe. This has been really choppy lately. So a lot of my long-term positions still sitting with cash right now. Although the MACD is starting to curl up, if it was ready to turn around and start going and ripping towards all-time highs, it looks like RSI is almost getting back above 50. MACD looks like it's ready to cross over. Could be happening, but again, I'm going to kind of sit back and wait. But at least in the time being right now, closing at 438 yesterday, currently trading around 439. It looks like it's heading in a positive direction this morning. All right. Let's see here. Kimster, what's up? Good morning. Yeah, beat LA. That's right. Playoff start today. Giants versus Dodgers. I don't know what more you could ask for in terms of having a rivalry game in the first round of the playoffs. Going to be pretty exciting. I'm going to miss the game tonight. I got a football game, but tomorrow I think they play again at home tomorrow and then travel to LA. So I'll be watching tomorrow night. And I'll probably check the score at halftime on my game tonight. Scotty, what's up? What's going on? It's Friday too. It's Scotty's day. What's going on? I can't wait. I need the Scotty pick-me-up today. Your pal Al, what's up? Good morning. Dennis D. E-Money, good morning. What's going on? Holiday Option says coffee time. I just pounded my coffee right before we started. I wish I would have made another cup. Crypto Cello, what's going on? Top of the morning. Terts McGurts says volume seems really low today. Yeah, we're at 26,000 for CLOV in volume right now. It's crazy. And that's the one thing with volume too. I always have people like, hey, why do they say low volume's good? Why is a lot of volume? But then at the same time, you want to see volume for price movement. Basically, when volume dries up, that's when your days to cover is going to increase, right? So days to cover that's the DTC, and basically what that is how long it's going to take a shorts to get out, right? So if you're short the stock and, let's say based on the average daily volume, if as your days to cover increases, that means if volume was to stay where it's at, that's how long it would take them to get out. Obviously, that could change in a matter of minutes as soon as the stock starts popping and people start piling in. You see a day like, considering with CLOV, the last June run up had 700 million in volume. You could trade the entire float, at least back then, 6 times over. So it can all change, out of nowhere. But yeah, volume's been drying up lately. Let's see here. Zip Jester, wish I got in this current crazy CEI action, sticking to plan A, CLOV. Yeah, and I'm gonna pull up CEI in a second because that thing is just insane how it's been kind of back and forth, and it's up to hit as high as I think 244, somewhere around there this morning already, and we're gonna pull that up here in a second because it's crazy. Andy Smith, what's up? Good morning. Wesley Arnett, news on SNDL popped in pre-market. I didn't see that one come up on my scanner. I'm gonna write that one down too. I know BTBT was the one that was popping up recently on my scanner. Oh yeah. Looks like it closed yesterday at 64 cents. Came up and hit 79, and it's currently trading at 75 right now. Let's see. Sundial Growers shares are trading higher after the company announced it will acquire Alcana. Okay. Sundial Growers to buy Alcana for $346 million. Looks like that news actually broke. Yeah, so it was last night in after hours. Okay. So I'm surprised that one didn't show up on my scanner this morning, but that should be pretty interesting. That's a pretty decent size gap up right there. Thank you, Wesley. Dan, what's up? Good morning. Janadi says it's 3 p.m. in Israel. All right, good afternoon. Matt Johnston, what's up? Good morning. Dennis D, has anyone heard the star rating changed? I haven't seen a thing yet. Remember, it's the CMS website, cms.gov, says on or around October 7th. Well, it wasn't on October 7th, and it wasn't before, so I guess now we just got to figure it's going to be after October 7th. I would imagine we'll see something today, whether it be, during the day or even like once the market closes, after the workday closes, some sort of press release. This isn't just like specific to CLOV, right? They're releasing their star ratings for all the Medicare providers. So, I would imagine it's going to get out soon because they got to update so much information, as open enrollment starting basically a week from today. So, you got to figure brochures, websites, there's all kinds of data, not just on the CMS side, but even marketing materials that these companies need to put together, everything that goes along with it as open enrollment comes around. So that's why, I think they're trying to definitely get it out as soon as possible. I don't know why it hasn't been announced yet. So I'm sure it'll be coming any day now, um, or any time now. This is all right. There we go. Looks like I fixed the volume on the mic. Thanks, Church. I didn't know what you were talking about at first. That should be much better. Um, Damn, I was talking low too. You guys probably didn't hear much of what I was saying. Sorry about that. I always forget to check that before I sign on to make sure, because I got this microphone's plugged in through a USB, and sometimes I don't know. I gotta like unplug it and plug it back in, but that should be good now. Oh man. Cyrax says, "Good morning from Moon. What's going on?" Taiwo, no star rating yet. Big Nate, what's going on? There we go. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Didn't realize I didn't have the mic wasn't turned on. I'm sitting here talking into the mic, and it was just picking up the computer audio. All right. So we kind of talked about SPY, what's going on right now with you know, with the markets in general. Hopefully you guys caught a little bit of that. In terms of yesterday, I didn't even do a scan in pre-market. We were just looking at some of the squeeze plays, and I said I was going to watch those, specifically for entry points. ATER, a couple days ago, I had entered into and got stopped out, once it fell below 9. And I just kind of continued to watch it to see if there was any sort of entry points or any sort of momentum shift, because there is a huge gamma squeeze potential here and short squeeze potential in ATER. But yesterday was pretty much all downhill. I mean, if you were day trading it, these wicks seem really choppy. I don't know that I would have jumped in anywhere in here, but there was some decent opportunities in there. Looks like it started to maybe here 820, 835. Not a lot of movement though. This one might be just getting pinned below max pain now at this point. We got max pain on ATER. From what I remember earlier on this week, was sitting right about $10, and as we can see here, now it's in this range where it's getting pinned below 10, above 750. Don't get me wrong, until next Friday, there's still an opportunity there. This is still a massive amount of open interest considering the float size. But I'm going to wait to see a stronger, reversal here, show some strength in the stock, and maybe even wait until it gets right back up closer to 10 to jump back in, like break above 9, get closer above 950, and then try to jump in and play that gamma squeeze. But again, importance of a stop loss. I thought it had the momentum a couple days ago, and it broke the opposite direction. I got out at 895. It came down and touched 8. That's why you want to, jump out and look for a better opportunity, even if you wanted to be in this long term and you got stopped out at 895. I mean, shit, you've had plenty of opportunities in there to buy the dip now. Jump in at 805. Hell, even jump in at 835. But for me, I'm just gonna wait a little bit longer and see what happens. Let's see here. The other ones that we were looking at yesterday, SDC, that's Smile Direct Club. If you were looking at this for a day trade opportunity, again, my entry point, at least the ones we've been talking about right now. There's some other strategies, but the ones that I've been talking about on here, at least, that I think is the easiest one to play if you're a beginner day trader, is just looking for this cross above the 50. And I mean, if you were to get in somewhere around here, you're looking at, even if you got in late, a 640 entry point, and that's a nice little ride up to 660. Even if you played that breakout here, 660 up to 668 isn't much, but and then again, provided some nice movement a couple times here throughout the day. So, I still think that, just keeping an eye on a lot of these former runners, these, popular squeeze plays right now. You can't go wrong in terms of finding like little ways to stick and move and make some money. PROG's one I've been watching. They did that offering. The offering's completed now. It's still got heavy short interest. I'll pull up Ortex data on all these right now. But PROG just doesn't look like it's getting the volume. If you look in here, that's all this choppiness and stuff. I'll be staying away right now until volume kind of picks up there. And then the last one that I was looking at yesterday that started moving in the morning was BBIG. We were looking at that in pre-market yesterday, and then it had a little flush off the open. If you were waiting for a opportunity, this is the one I was watching pretty much all day yesterday, looking for an opportunity to jump in. And it did give some, a couple entry points here, but not much doing, right? And then we came back down 539 up to 551. Looks like later in the day we had kind of more of a bullish crossover, 533. But yeah, not much going on there either. So I didn't do the scan yesterday. We probably should have. Let's see. So I'll we'll definitely get to that right now. I'm gonna pull up Ortex data on a lot of these right now. Blue says you think they'll keep CLOV under 750 for max pain. Yeah, as long as depends. I mean, all we need is a catalyst, right? And we have a catalyst in the star rating if everything, kind of plays out and we get a bullish star rating like a 3.5, then no, I say they don't. But for right now, I think with no news on the day, and if everything just kind of trades the way it is, I don't see us breaking above 750 today. But if all of a sudden we get that star rating and things start moving, yeah, I could see us absolutely breaking above $750, $8, to close out the day. Maybe even, like say anywhere from a 5 to 10% jump, which would put us more in the $8 range. I like to gamble. I've said that on here so many times, but so yesterday I grabbed, which this is absolutely not financial advice. This was just me being stupid and just trying to gamble a little, really. I grabbed some $8 calls that expire yesterday for like, I think $3 a piece. Which it's ridiculously cheap. And it's very unlikely to happen, but I was just looking at the cost at $3. If we were to get the star rating yesterday or today and all of a sudden see a little bit of push into the stock, potentially, let's say we get a move up to like even $8.20, that $3 would convert into about $20. And that's almost 4 times your money, 5 times your money. Actually, shit, more than that. Sorry, I'm tired. It'd be like 6 times. Just for a move to 820. A move to 810 is 3 times your money. Because that contract at expiration would be worth at least 10 cents. So, I grabbed a handful of those yesterday. Speaking of Max Payne, just kind of threw caution out the window and said, hey, let me just throw this in case the star rating actually does come out and it's bullish and, it gets the stock moving. It's kind of a cheap way to grab a little bit extra for the ride, but still might pan out. Let's see here. Tertz McGurt's DNA after the hit piece. I know you brought that one up yesterday, and I saw you tweeted about it too. I was busier than hell yesterday, and I didn't really get a chance to look into it. But so I know you had said that there was a. It looks like a couple of days ago, a short seller report. Let's see. So it looks like the short seller report came out here. Stock dipped down to 9. But it bounced right back. Saw an increase in volume that day too, but nothing much. Almost 10 times the volume, but it dropped back down. Yeah, I don't know enough about this one, Turks. I didn't get a chance to check that out, but just looking at this, looks like this must have been a recent SPAC or something. I'd imagine just because, or a recent IPO, because it only has data back to 9/17. We could pull up Vortex on that too. I read short seller report in there, so I would imagine that it's got high short interest. Let's see here. Utilization's at 100. Cost to borrow is increasing. Oh wow, average cost to borrow is at 264 right now. Shares on loan through 33 million. How large is this float? $170 million float. IV's pretty high right now. There's only monthly options on it. And let me check one more thing. There's not a lot going on in the option chain in terms of open interest in relation to the float size. And Max Payne right now is at 11. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about the play to really be able to say, whether I would give my opinion on it, but looks like it had some nice movement yesterday after that like you said, that short looks like it got hit with the short seller report, but it looks like it popped right back. I mean, it's trading pretty close to where it was previously. Michelle, what's up? Good morning. Junior. BBIG said be careful after SPRT merger, but maybe a good entry point if bottomed. Yeah, I like where BBIG's sitting right now. And kind of the other thing I like about it too is just not as a hold or anything like that, but I mean, it kind of, obviously it looks like maybe it bottomed out and it's ready to start heading in the other direction. I mean, that's just based off one candle, but volume started to pick up after it lowered. We did see it pop up to 6. If it continues to rise and go upwards and looks like it's reversing the trend, I would think it would head up and start moving again. But I'm just looking to day trade a lot of these right now. We pulled up Ortex on almost everything yesterday throughout the day. If we kind of go through and evaluate all these, I think BBIG's float size is about 97 million, and let's see here, 32% short interest. Cost to borrows kind of, and utilization. So it's kind of got, but there's so many plays like this where they all kind of have something going for them, right? So we had BBIG was one. It checks all the boxes, floats under 100 million. That's small enough. ATER is the one that I really like the most. But again, it's gotten pinned to this max pain point, and we're looking at 40% short interest, so higher. Cost to borrow 129, utilization's up there. Again, everything look at the percentages of the float on loan, 80%. SDC, it's probably my second favorite out of all of them right now. 46% of the float is on loan. We're looking at cost to borrow of 34, average up to 58 now, 100% utilization, 58% of the floats on loan. I mean, all of these kind of check those boxes and what you would want in a squeeze, right? 53%, now we're looking at PROG, 53% on loan. Cost to borrow, average 154, utilization 98. And that's why I've kind of just kept all these kind of in the crosshairs and been looking at them every day, because they all have potential to take off. Now, and matter of fact, we'll pull up CEI too, because I know that one's one that's been moving recently. Doesn't really have the short interest that the other ones do. 17% still high. Cost to borrow is 10. Utilization's 88. So that one, not nearly. So I mean, if you look at in comparison, now CEI is moving, but just in comparison of, like I'm saying, all those variables you would want to check off. Now, what's the biggest difference in all these? And this is where I kind of, my theory, which kind of played out with SDC this week. I started building this spreadsheet, and just comparing IV on all these and max pain, right? And so I think once IV starts getting closer to 200% and passing 200%, it becomes there becomes more incentive for market makers to manipulate the stock and basically take advantage of those insane premiums on the option chain. And it becomes, there becomes more incentive for them to pin it to max pain. We saw that happen with ATER, ATER. IV was sitting above 200%, and what'd they do? They dropped the thing down within max pain, right as it looked like it was ready to take off and get above it. Right as it, we kind of had this wedge, everything going on, and they dropped it back down. It is holding the 50 SMA though, which is, I still like this play, but I think they're gonna make it trade sideways for a while they rake in the the premiums on that thing. But you look at some of the other ones, BBIG right now, Same thing. IV's through the roof. Sitting at 194 right now. Max Pain is at $6, and kind of the same thing. You know, where are we trading at? Right in this range of Max Pain. So to me, you know, try to find the ones that have been already beaten to shit, already beaten down. You know, MRIN. This is back in July when it popped, so it's been about 3 months, and it's been trading sideways forever. You know, I would imagine after this, the IV was probably 200%, 300%, maybe higher. And now, if we look at the IV on MRIN, it's at 64%. You know, no, is that right? No, it's at 144%. But I guess my point is less incentive there, you know, than there is, you know, there's less incentive for someone to try to pin this one to Max Pain. I'm not saying buy MRIN. I just threw that one out there as an example. And Max Pain on MRIN right now is 750. And look, it's trading above that. You know, because there's not as much incentive to pin it to 750 to manipulate that stock. They can go make more money, you know, manipulating an ATER or a BBIG or some of these other recent runners that have the increased IV. So keeping that in mind, CEI just went on this massive run, right? Max Pain right now on CEI is $2. I thought it was $3 the other day, but it's showing up at $2. So when you look at that, it did pop up this morning. It's above 2 right now. What's the IV on CEI? 400% implied volatility. Okay. And you got this recent pop to 240. So they let this thing run, right? I think IV was at one point at $3 too. But the stock already got hammered down, right? And then it started trading down here sub $1. Max Pain's at 2. So yeah, they let it run up to here. And right now it is trading above, you know, above $2, which is where Max Pain's at. But how many more people you think are gonna like FOMO in today with options and I mean ridiculously overpaying? IV almost at 400%, and I can almost guarantee you that they're gonna make sure they keep this stock, you know, below $2 by next Friday, because the incentive is there. You know, you're paying almost 4 times the amount. I mean, give or take, what you should be paying for options contracts right now. So, just something to keep in mind. It's just something that I've been looking at right now. I think when IV gets through the roof on these squeeze plays, be prepared for them to start controlling the stock and lead it back to that Max Pain number. CCXI. I know I got hella far behind on the chat, guys. Dan says every time I see pharma companies jump on drug approval, they tend to come back down. Yeah, that will. But here's the thing. That's why, you know, like I said, you don't want to buy as a long-term holder when you see these jumps, and it's a good transition to get right back into the scanner. And there is the scanner this morning. CCXI is at the top. So we take a look at this, right? And this stock, 53 million float, not bad. I think I was looking at this one this morning. It got was that the one that got the approval for the autoimmune disease or something like that? It might have been a different stock. Yeah, this is the one I was looking at this morning. So had this huge jump. It's up 77% right now. Okay, so you don't want to be a buyer here long term and think like, oh, okay, this thing's gonna go up to 100, and just hold. Okay, well, the way that I like to play these is, kind of what we've been talking about. Look for your entry points, have a stop loss, day trade them. Okay, this is going to provide a huge opportunity of, a gap down. If you look at some of these other ones that we've been trading recently, um, I'll come back over here and look at something that was a big gapper. Even was it yesterday? I think. Might be a bad example. I pulled up PLTR, but shit, even ATER, over the last couple of days. Let me change my time frame here. I'll show us the last 5 days on this stock because it's been moving around a lot. But if you get a big gap up, let's say like up here, now all of a sudden the stock's going to come down and try to fill that gap throughout the day. Obviously, practice some patience. Just sit there and watch it, right? So this is a couple days ago on ATER when it gapped up to 1160. But like I said, you don't want to be a buyer here and hold. You want to just kind of watch. And I use this 50-day moving average as my main indicator. I also use the 9 and 20 as EMAs. But so if I was sitting in here watching throughout the day, seeing it fall, my first indicator that it might be time to get in is when this 9 pops above the 20. These are EMAs now, right? But I'm still not a buyer because we're underneath the 50. Now, when it pops above the 50, now I'm jumping in. 1083, nice opportunity there. Have a stop loss. It falls back down, I'm out. I got to capture all these gains. It comes back down. Now we see this bounce here where the 9 bounces off the 20. I might buy back in here. 1084, we bust through VWAP. It continues rising all the way up to 1148. That's a nice opportunity there. And then have a stop loss set. It falls back below the 9 EMA. Maybe that's my exit point. I could also be looking down here at my MACD. I see a cross, a bearish cross. I get out there. Either one would have got me out somewhere around here. And then just continue to watch the play throughout the day. Maybe you don't see any other entry points. Maybe you do. But either way, that's the way that I like to play these gappers, is so when you're looking at a stock like CCXI, it's up tremendously right now. I'm not a genius by any means. I could tell you guys though, it's either going to go up or down from here, right? And so you just watch it. If it continues to break up, who knows what the upside could be. We could look at the daily chart here. Let me get some of this crap off my screen. There we go. So looking at the daily chart, it looks like there was a gap that's been filled already. Maybe some resistance way up here and at 45-ish, somewhere in this range. But otherwise, there's a lot of room for upside here. All-time highs is 70, or at least high of the year, I should say. But anyways, I guess my point is, once this thing starts ripping, you figure it's going to open up right now way up here. It may come down and try to fill that gap, and it's going to catch a lot of people that are trying to buy into this pre-market that missed out on the gap up. Okay, and they're going to buy in. And what's going to happen when the market opens? A bunch of people that were already holding this stock as a long-term investment are probably going to get out. You're going to see profit taking, so you're going to see the stock start falling. it may not fall all the way down, but it'll start falling. And then that's when, as it starts to reverse, like I just pointed out, that's when you want to jump in, because who knows? Based on this news that it has, this thing might start taking off and you're part of a bigger run. So, um, these gappers, the whole reason that I'm looking for them is for day trading opportunities. And that's, the reason that they pop up on the scanner and everything. So DATS is another one that's coming up this morning. Looks like it's got a much smaller float at 12 million right now. If we come over here and take a look at that, let's see. $3 not too long ago, ran up to 18. No, it's got a high cost to borrow though. Oh, it's a pharmaceutical. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. All right. Shrimply McPibs, what's up? Good morning. Josh Stewart, VN, what's up? Soda Popinski, what's up? I love that name. Oh man, I know I say it every time I see you, but that was absolutely my favorite game growing up on Nintendo. Was Mike Tyson Punch Out. Always puts a smile on my face when I see the avatar in the name. All right, very disturbed. What's up? Good morning, KLF. All right, so right now, CCXI probably looks the most intriguing this morning, in terms of ones that I would want to get in and day trade with. And we just pulled up DATS. It's the other one that came up on the scanner. Looks like it closed yesterday at 804, up to 888 right now. That's a 10% gain. And again, give some opportunity for some gap fill. If you look at the chart on this, volume's almost at 1 million this morning, and looks like a lot of volatility recently in this stock. So, and it's got a pretty decent chart. What I mean by that is it's not choppy all over the place. This chart kind of has a nice flow to it. And I would much rather be in a stock that's moving like that. I'm going to keep an eye on this one. Recent volume at 28 million, but it's been having a lot of volume and good volume in relation to its float recently. So I'll definitely keep this one on the watch list as well. Some other ones that I want to take a look at is, let's check out BBI. This is a penny stock. I'll probably stay away from this. Yeah. Not going there. Yeah, that's probably good enough for this morning. So I'm gonna keep an eye on those two. Probably also, I think Sundial was another one that was mentioned that is moving this morning. That's also a penny stock, but also kind of a retail favorite too. So I would imagine that the volume on this one is going to pick up tremendously as we kind of get through the day if it continues to move. So I'll kind of watch this one as well. I think Sundial offers some exciting moves if all of a sudden it can break through some of these previous points. And I want to say this was back in February. It's crazy how similar this chart looks to some other squeeze plays, how they kind of come up and have been, and now tailing off. When you're scanning for day trades, what kind of range are you looking for? Yeah, 5 to 10% is pretty wide. And typically too, the only other thing though that is like, if you're looking at like ATR, like the average true range of the stock, isn't always going to be that high. Like, and what I mean by that is, let's just look at like CCXI, for example. The range of this stock isn't very big. It's been trading from 1720 to 1797. 1651 to $17. And it's not bad, but when you have these big gaps, like this is a day that you would probably want to day trade, was yesterday, $17 up to 21. Now there's a huge range. But that's why the gaps make for, when you look for gappers, whether it be a gap up or a gap down, now you're going to get a huge range. I mean, look at the range on the potential range on this stock now. It's trading at 33 right now, all the way back down to 20. If it does fill this gap and then start moving from there, I mean, there's a huge range in there. But yeah, I mean, somewhere around there. The other thing though too is with day trading, and I'm glad you brought up that question, because a friend of mine asked me this the other day too, like, how much are you trying to make per trade when you day trade? And or not per trade. I mean, shit, even if you could just make 0.5%, and hear me out, it's one, when you're day trading, and I know this kind of goes opposite of, in terms of these squeeze plays, anyone who's been listening to other people talk about, don't use margin. Well, for me, if you're going to day trade, you absolutely should be using margin. That's the way I look at it. Okay. But again, only for day trading. I'm not saying use margin to hold your CLOV position overnight or anything like that. I'm saying for your day trades, for when you're jumping in and out. I always use margin, and I that's why I also have multiple brokerage accounts. The account that I day trade in, I'm always day trading on margin, because it gives you that leverage. So think about it this way: if you have four times leverage, and you could buy 4 times the amount of something that you're day trading with, now a 1% move is really a 4% gain in your account, because you're buying 4 times the amount that you can actually afford to buy. We're seeing some pop in CLOV right now. Get some news? No. But anyways, even if you're not though, let's say you're trading with a cash account or whatever, if you can consistently, let's say, get 1 to 2% per pop on a day trade, right, and just make 1% here, 1% there, 1% there, just on these little moves, like the ones that I've been kind of showing when we cross above that 50. The other one I talked about is like, that little breakout when it dips and then it crosses the previous high, and now you could jump back in for another run. Any of those opportunities, if you could just snatch up 1%, 2%, maybe 4%, maybe you get lucky, and you start adding that up, you get in and out of trades maybe 5-6 times a day. You might have made 10-15% on the day, 20% on the day. I mean, that's good money. And that's what you got to look for. And then the other thing I was talking to a friend about yesterday at work was people lose in trades, right? But The difference is, managing your risk and managing your downside. Like, if I trade 6 times today and I only win on 3 trades, I could still have a tremendously profitable day. And then, if I go 50-50, let's say I hit 50% on all my trades, I only win half the time. I could still have, a tremendous amount of profit. It just depends on how I manage those trades. If I let my losers become so big that they outweigh my winners, then I'm never going to be profitable. But that's where the stop loss comes in. That's where like the greed comes in. Like, if you get into a trade and it goes against you and you're wrong, you need to cut your losses, get out, and wait for the next opportunity. And if you do that, then when your winners hit and those ones run, the upside's limitless, right? You could let that thing keep running. Maybe you have a trailing stop, maybe scale out, but you could make a ton of money to the upside, but you're always limiting your downside. And that's what's important, is always protect your capital. Always protect yourself from the big drops. There'll always be other trades. You got to tell yourself that. There'll always be better entry points. There'll always be a better opportunity. Don't get so committed to this one trade, to this one play, and that you end up holding and turning what could have been a small loss into a huge loss. I remember early on when I started day trading, and I was trying to do it with an account that wasn't at 25,000. So, which is very, very risky, and one of the reasons I say that is because it'll really mess with like your trading psychology. With the whole pattern day trade rule, and how you can't do 3 round trips or more than 3 round trips in a week with under 25,000 in cash. It kind of gives you a different mindset. It kind of makes you feel like every trade needs to work out, and that's the wrong way of thinking. Because then what ends up happening, you get into a trade, you get your entry point, the signal's there, you buy in, trade goes against you, you should be stopping out. You should be getting out right now. Minimize your losses. But instead, you have in your mind, well, this is only my one day trade for the day, so I'm gonna stay in this and wait for it to turn around. And now, maybe a 1% loss turns into a 5% loss, and then into a 10% loss, and then you become a bag holder, and now you're sitting here, you're not even day trading anymore, you're just holding on to this stock waiting for it to turn around. Okay, so you can't get yourself in those situations. Always manage your risk when it comes, if you're trying to get into day trading. You're not going to win every trade, but if you can cut your losses, manage your downside, use a stop loss, you might miss out on bigger trades, but you're also going to protect your capital and not lose as much. That's my TED talk for today. Thank you. Let's see. Day late, dollar short. What's up? Good morning, Coach and CLOV fam. Can you tell me why SEC has allowed that market makers can control the most part a company stock price and not the fundamentals and public sentiment? I don't know why the SEC has allowed. Honestly, I mean, big picture. One, just being a realist. The government's corrupt on both sides. Has nothing to do with political parties. It all just has to do with money, right? And greed. This is just my own personal opinion. If you look at, on a totally separate, without getting into politics, but I had one friend recently who was trying to make it seem like one political party was all about money and another political party was about something else and all this. And I'm like, dude, you have no idea. If you look at the insider trading happening with Congress and everybody else, it's happening on both sides of the aisle. So, miss me with that crap. But regardless, it's greed and it's money, and the people that set the laws are profiting off of the manipulation that's taking place too. And at the end of the day, though, is the entire stock market rigged? I don't believe so. But the what's the word I'm looking for? It can be. We've seen that market makers have the ability to control a stock price when they want to. And that's kind of what I'm getting at with the whole IV thing. I really am starting to see that when IV, because, back a year ago, 2 years ago, it would be insane to see a stock sitting here with 200% IV. Now, it happened, but not like it is right now, where you start looking around and there's so many stocks with these insane IVs. And it's because with the increase in retail investors, you've been seeing more increase in options players than there has been in the past. And so it also brings about these opportunities. So now when you have all these stocks that are retail favorites with these insanely high IVs, it gives them more incentive to manipulate the market, and take advantage of that. And is it wrong? Absolutely. Will the SEC ever do anything about it? I don't know. I don't even know that they can. I mean, it's just so widespread across the market that for us, when you put your problems in a bottle, it makes it seem like, well, shit, look at this manipulation that's happening on CLOV. Why aren't they doing anything about it? But there's just as many people that have been invested in GameStop and AMC that have been screaming the same thing since January. And then you have people that are, have been in Tesla for a long time and see manipulation happening there, and PLTR and Workhorse and all these stocks that and I'm not saying that they're all in the same position, but all these stocks have been manipulated. Even if you look at the recent drops and like an ATER and everything else, it's happening everywhere. But will they ever get rid of dark pools? I highly doubt it, because the intent of a dark pool was to not have the market move when you have these institutions come in and buying, and to basically to make the market so you don't see rug pulls on retail and insane gaps because a big institution wants to come in and buy some shares. Now it's getting abused, and what's going to happen, even if you shut down one thing, there's going to be a loophole somewhere else. The corruption will always exist. That's just me being a realist. I just think that it's our job to profit off it, learn the game. That's why I've been really studying these recent squeeze plays and trying to find out, and what I'm finding is, like I said, when IV gets through the roof, stay away. I'm not saying just stay away with options, just stay away. Let it settle back down, and you might miss out on some big plays, but at the same time, I think you also won't lose out on some plays, because shit, all the fundamentals are there on a lot of these. I mean, where there's no reason why they haven't popped already, but I know what the reason is. The reason is the market makers are able to control the stock. And unfortunately, the way that the market works right now, the SEC, most of the people that work there, if you look, it's all one big circle, right? You have people that, used to work at the SEC that get hired at these big hedge funds to be like compliance officers and everybody else to make sure that they're following rules. But really, it's because they got buddies in the enforcement agency. And then you got some of the top jobs in the SEC. A lot of those people are being given those jobs and being hired out of, they're like ex hedge fund guys. So they all know each other. And I think they all scratch each other's backs. That's all speculation on my part, but I think, highly unlikely that they're going to go out and arrest their former coworker, or, that sort of thing. Not that I don't even, you know what I'm getting at though. Yeah, SNDL I know has a lot of people that are holding bags from back on that last run up, and I mean,
And I think that's why it's important in the end to, like I said, always have a stop loss. There'll always be another opportunity. All right. There's always going to be another big trade. And sometimes I got to tell myself that, you know, but I think that's the biggest thing is, you know, it, there's so many opportunities to make money in this market that, um, and I know I've said this before too, where I have friends that have said like, I'm never investing in the stock market again. It's so corrupt, this and that. Well, yeah, it is, but if you look at every day, we keep pointing out opportunities for day trading, opportunities for swing trading. I mean, shit, even if you were playing puts and you see where a lot of these stocks get over, pop up like they have been, and you're more on the bear side, and now you could short the shit out of it on the way down. I mean, there's just so much opportunities in this market with this volatility to make money. Um, it's just you just can't be stubborn and just try to fight. Try to be the resistance. You want to go with the flow. You want to ride the wave. Um, find the momentum. Ride the stock up. Have a stop loss. Get out. Always take profits. I think that's the biggest part too. Always take profits. TX Ripper said, "Did you ever go over your scanner setup and settings?" I did not. I know I wrote it. It's so I think I said this the other day. The scanner that I'm using right now is just a volume scanner that is like stock with my Charles Schwab. I have some scans. I don't know if you guys remember anyone who was, watching this stream back when I was using, I think I was using Webull and then I was using TradingView, and I kept like bouncing around because I wanted to get my Thinkorswim back up, and I went and bought some RAM for it and everything so that I could use it while I stream. And I lost my scanners in there. I had a bunch of custom built scanners that I had worked on. I even purchased some years ago. I mean, I had all these different scanners, and I lost, and it's all in Thinkorswim, and I lost my I don't know why they're not in here in my presets anymore. So I don't have them anymore. I know I have the books that that I read, that where I put my scanners together. I haven't had time to go over it. But all I'm doing right now when I'm scanning in the morning is like, what's top 10 in volume this morning? Okay. Um, what's increased in volume this morning? And usually I'll kind of look around at that. And then what gapped up this morning and what gapped down. And so I think if I look at those four and then kind of evaluate it, I could usually pick out one or two stocks. But really, that's all you really need too. Since we've been talking about day trading this morning, I think I should probably touch on that too, especially if you're just starting out. Or shit, even if you've been doing it for years, pick two or three stocks. Watch those two or three stocks on the day. Really get a feel for how they move throughout the day. Like really right now, instead of me sitting here talking to you guys and doing all this shit, if I picked out that, I had three stocks, which was CCXI and, you know, whatever, SNDL and CEI or whatever you decide that you're gonna day trade on the day, which I think CEI could be another one that could offer some opportunity too. Um, but either way, now you'd want to be sitting here looking through the daily chart, looking through 4 hour charts, drawing in some major resistance levels, seeing where some support levels might be, going back, um, on a 4 hour, going back, even way back. If you look at a weekly, you could see that, I'm looking at CLOV right now, but either way, just drawing in different levels, having them all set up. And so that way, when you get back on your minute chart, and you're doing this in pre-market for like the two or three stocks you want to look at. But now, if you do see some insane breaks, you might already have some lines drawn in on your chart, so you know where there might catch some resistance, and that'll help you out too. So typically what I'll do is I'll just prepare for those 2 or 3 that I found throughout the day and have everything set up, have everything in place so that I'm ready to just sit there and watch those 3 stocks throughout the day. And that's it. There might be other runners, other places, there might be, but like I was saying earlier, if you just stick and move on those 1 or 2 stocks or 3 stocks throughout the day and you really kind of get a feel for how they run, every time it breaks out, occasionally you'll see the same patterns in the same stock throughout the day that'll help start to get you better entry points, better exit points. And if you just make up 1% here, 2% there, 3%, then maybe you lose on one, then you make it, if you're making shit 5% in the day, 10% in a day, that's huge. And that's all you need. And I think the other big thing I should say too is never over trade. That's probably the biggest mistake that people make too. I mean, because there's going to be days where, like I'm saying, 1%, 2%, and then all of a sudden you get in on this one trade and it just happens to be like the trade. And now all of a sudden the thing runs for 15%. And maybe you're trading on 4 times leverage. So that's really a 60% gain. And you just had a 60% gain in your account in one trade. And it happened in 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Quit. Walk away. There's no reason to trade for the rest of the day. Take the day off. Turn your computer off. Go outside. Go do some other shit. Because the worst thing you could do after that happens is jump back on and look for the next one. Now you got that adrenaline flowing and that blood pumping. And now you're like, now I got so much more money. Now this time when I make, 10%, it's gonna be this much. And you start thinking about money and all this other stuff. And then you jump in and I guarantee you, you're going to lose the next 5 to 10 trades and end up giving a ton of it back. And then you're going to start getting angry and, rage trading and making dumb decisions and I've trust me, I've done it myself. I've seen it happen with other people. Um, I think the best thing that you could do is have maybe a dollar amount that you're trying to hit every day. Whether it be like, hey, I want to make $200 in profit, or I want to make $2,000 in profit. And if you ever hit that amount, sure, some trades might exceed that amount, but once you hit that amount and make that amount in the day, stop. Okay, that's kind of like your cutoff point. Now, there might be some days where you sit at the computer if you're taking it serious and you trade for the entire day because you never hit that amount. Maybe you never get the entry points you're looking for, but patience is key. You sit there, you watch, maybe go make yourself a sandwich, come back, you're watching, and then now it's all the way in power hour where you get that nice entry point. That could happen too. But, come up with your own set of rules, come up with your own strategy, and stick to it. Don't break your own rules. I do that myself all the time too. Michael, what's up? Slept in today. Nice. That's always good, man. Hopefully I'll be sleeping in tomorrow. I don't have what time is it at? I think my son's game is a little bit later. Oh yeah. Game doesn't start until 12:30 in the afternoon, so I'm going to sleep in a little bit tomorrow. Um let's see here. Your pal Al says Scotty's resetting his check liver light. I love it. Patrick Zhang says max pain on VIH. Let's check it out. Probably 10. And I mean, shit, that thing dipped down below 10 this morning too. It's at 9.99 right now. It's right in that same range. I'm still holding I'm glad you brought it up too, Patrick, because I'm still holding VIH. I have shares, and I also have some calls for further out. I believe. Let me check this out real quick. Where am I at with VIH? Wow, this is tripping me out right now. So yeah, so max pain on VIH right now is at 10. Um, the calls that I have are for February. But either way, I mean IV isn't terribly high right now. And I just like the potential that exists there now, and also the downside, the minimal downside. So if all of a sudden, they have that meeting next week, I think it's on the 14th, and nothing comes of it, and they switch the ticker over, and we're still just sitting there stagnant at $10 with no volume, I'm just gonna get out. You know, I think my average price right now is somewhere around like $10.16 on the shares. I'll take a 16-cent loss. I'd rather move that money into something else. Um, but I'm still just, I mean, there's an insane amount of short interest in this stock. The option chain relative to the float size gives some great potential for something to happen, for some sort of gamma squeeze, and so I like those odds. And right now I'm going to hold this thing through next Friday, see how the whole thing plays out. But if it ends up just kind of sitting here stagnant, I'm not going to wait around for years. I'm not a long term investor in BAKKT. This is one of those squeeze plays. I think I said it a couple weeks or even a month ago now. It's been a while that I don't mind parking my money in this SPAC because it's so close to NAV. Like shit. Even right now, if you buy VVIH right now at 9.98, I think it's at 9.99. It's worth $10. So you're actually getting it on deal. So, but yeah, Max Payne is at $10 right now. Let's see here. Faith, what's up? Good morning. Did you see ATER rising back to 1030 levels by the end of this month? I'm holding a lot and I'm very worried. The short interest is it's got all the variables you want for a short squeeze. The problem is, and I think I said this I'm gonna make an updated video on ATER this weekend too, probably today or tomorrow. Just because I put that video out, and I was very specific in there too, and I wanted to say like, hey, I'm getting out if it drops below 9. And I'm gonna start making sure to say those things too, because I want to make sure that people understand like that I'm not manage your risk. I just really want to preach that to everybody. But regardless, I don't know why I'm getting off base, but ATER. The problem is, and I said it in that video the other night, or the other morning, the IV's so high and it's so close to max pain that, now all of a sudden, there becomes this incentive to pin it down. Max pain's at $10. So I think anywhere that it trades right now, between 830, they'll let this thing run back up to $10. But they're going to try their hardest to keep it below 10, because that's the max pain number. While the IV is this high, that's not to say that it can't happen. I actually think that ATER right now has probably the best potential for a gamma squeeze than any of these stocks. And I'm going to be watching if it approaches. Now, this gamma squeeze potential expires next Friday. So, as this stock approaches, let's say $9 again, and then 9.50, and then 9.75, I'm gonna have alerts going off on my phone, and you better believe I'm gonna be buying some calls because I want to be involved in this gamma squeeze if it comes up. But right now, I got stopped out 2 days ago when it hit $9 at 8.95, and now I'm just sitting here waiting again. But all right, so give me a thumbs up whenever you're ready, and we got a guest coming on here shortly. All right, so let me go ahead. Oh, I gotta do some setting up over here. Hold on one second. Actually, let me try something. Oh, that's wrong. Not supposed to be two of me. There we go. All right, I'm gonna you ready? Here we go. It's Friday.
What's up? What's good, coach?
What's up? Like the old,
Remember that old commercial? What was that, like
yeah, it
a
was
Budweiser commercial?
Budweiser. What's up? That was
What's
so funny, man.
up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on, bro?
Oh, it's all good in the hood. It's like a little dark up in here today, isn't it? Like I'm a little dark on the screen.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can maybe move and make that better. Everything's good. Good. Everything's good. You know? It's all good in the hood. That's a little better, right?
Yep. So I know you how's work been going? Everything good with you?
Oh, everything's good, man. I've been just really doing a little bit of night and day. Getting guys set up over at that American Dream Mall. Like I know I've mentioned before, you know, I'm working over there and got a couple projects going there. And you know, we're digging into people's ceilings below to get some of the plumbing work done. So that's gotta be done overnight, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'll handle my projects here that that I got to handle during the day, and then I shoot up there on the train and get the guys set up for night work and try to catch some sleep somewhere in between there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's I haven't been sleeping much lately, man. I know
I
what you
can
mean,
tell
but
you sound sleepy, bro.
you know what? It's funny because I never go back and watch any of these videos or nothing. And then a friend of mine was telling us like, bro, you've been sounding tired as shit lately. And so I went back and just watched like the first 10 minutes of every morning. And I am like when I first get on at 5 in the morning, I feel like I could hear it in my voice. And then he's like he told me, he's like, watch the first 10 minutes. He's like, and then skip to right before you end the day, and you could see the huge difference. It's like
Yeah.
we're waking up with you throughout the morning.
Yeah, no, it's great. I like it though. It's fun. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'll be like just coming in from the morning walk. You'll be getting going. You know what I mean? I'll have you on in the shower, and I hear you. Oh, sleepy coach is sleepy this morning. Just getting his coffee. Basically, just getting his coffee in. You know what I mean? But then, like you said, through the day, start shooting up, and then on Fridays, once I get here, you're definitely rocking and rolling.
Yeah. Absolutely. Hey, so are you still alive in the survivor pool?
I lost last week, but I got my mulligan.
Okay.
I had Tennessee.
I
Bad
think
move.
somebody must have got eliminated last night because last time I checked, it showed that we had 19
Somebody got eliminated
survivors.
last night.
What's that? Yeah, it must have been
Someone
last
got
night.
eliminated last night.
That's what I'm thinking because when I checked earlier this week, it said there was 19 people left, and now it's showing that there's only 18. So someone definitely got eliminated last night. I'm
Russell
still
Wilson
alive though.
got
I haven't
hurt,
even
I
used
saw.
I haven't even used a mulligan yet.
Oh wow, that's good, man. You're in it to win it. You're in it to win it.
Did you already? Do you know who your pick is this week?
I know who my pick is this week. I've already selected. Yes.
I went with the Pats.
I forget who I went with. Let me look. Hang on.
I like going against.
Let's
I like
see.
going against the bad teams.
Yeah, well,
It's
that's
been
what I tried to do last week with the Titans against the Jets, and that came back to bite me in the ass big.
yeah.
I'm going with the Vikings this week over the Lions.
Vikings. Oh yeah. The Lions have been pretty bad. Oh man. All right. So I got Patriots over the Texans right now.
What's that?
I said I got Patriots over the Texans right now.
Ooh, interesting. It's I feel bad for Jared Goff actually.
Yeah, sitting there and yeah, it seems like that's crazy. I don't remember the last time that's happened, like where you have just two quarterbacks just swap. Like starting quarterbacks. Usually I feel like it's more of a hey, we're gonna trade, but we're doing it because we're getting these young guys and this and that, and it's just like,
Yeah.
oh, they just switched. And look very disturbed. Said took the Ravens over the Colts. I like that one
Ooh,
too.
that's a good pick.
But yeah, I kind of feel bad for Goff too. But it seems to be working out for Stafford. Shit, they look really good right now.
Oh yeah, man. He's got a lot more weapons and nicer weapons than they left Goff with. That's for sure. Goff, they took all they put him on a team now with who's he got to throw to really over there? Nobody that I could think of
Yeah,
right off the top of my head. I mean, who's the running back? He's always throwing to him, Swift or whatever, right? But
yep.
he's always in trouble. That's why he's always throwing them. You know what I mean? Check down.
Nah, absolutely. So what's up with the CLOV, man? What do you think? We got the star ratings should be coming out today, maybe. Um,
I think Clove's gonna be interesting. I think it's gonna go to the moon today? No, it would be great if it did. But the star rating is definitely interesting. I'm not expecting anything you know, prolific here. I think if we hold our star rating, that's good. And if we get up half a star in one or two of the areas where they rate, I think that's great. Um, I think based upon what we've seen over the past 6 months, 6 to 8 months, the growth is definitely there. The company has improved. I think it's possible to get that half a star up that we all want and need and hope to see. I wouldn't be disappointed or crushed if it didn't happen because that to me is just kind of par for the course in what we're waiting for in this growth stock future.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. No, I couldn't agree with you more. I know, like, don't get me wrong, man. If I think anything's gonna, if we see 3.5, that's gonna be huge. If we see 4, that's just gonna be like unreal.
oh, four
Um,
would be fours. I think you're going to see a shot or a way up or a pathway to 50 very quickly.
yeah,
In the price of the stock. If look, that's a huge if though.
yeah,
You know
yeah, yeah.
what I mean?
No, absolutely. But I mean, but I don't know. It's something to be excited about, right? Which is always
Sure.
fun. It's just temper your expectations, but it's it's kind of the anticipation starting to build. You know what I mean?
Right.
I can't wait to see it come out today and just see how it plays out.
Yeah,
But
now you know for a fact that it's coming today, or we're just kind of expecting. Because I know that I think I heard the date of the sixth, and the sixth came and went. And,
no, so it's so the way it states it on their website is that they're going to have their new ratings out on or around October 7th.
mm,
So obviously it wasn't before, obviously it wasn't on the 7th. So now, that's what I'm thinking. Somewhere maybe today, could be over the weekend, who knows. But you know what I mean?
really, you think they'd pop it over the weekend like that?
I just think that there's no reason to delay it, right? So as soon as whatever they're getting together or doing or finishing, I don't know what the process is, but once they finalize it, they need to get it out because think about it. So if open enrollment starts next week, right? And you these places want to go out and basically market to potential customers, right? For
Sure.
open enrollment. So if I'm Clove, I might have some brochures and some marketing materials that I'm ready to go start rolling out in certain areas and stuff. But I'm holding off because I'm waiting to see what my star rating is going to be. And it's not just them. You got United Health, you have Humana, you have, all these other insurance carriers that are basically waiting for this star rating before they could start doing their marketing. And at least that's the way I'm starting to think of it, so that's why I'm like, they need to hurry up and get this done. You know what I mean? It doesn't
Right,
just
right.
affect
Now, like,
CLOV.
what happens, like, when, look, because it's obviously not just for CLOV, right? It's for other Medicare companies as well, or is it just for CLOV that is getting the
No, it's for all of them.
right? So
So
there's going to be companies out there that, yeah, like I see you brought up what Faith is saying here. You know what I mean? Like, what about other companies that maybe take a hit, and then there's probably other companies that get a bump too, right? You know?
yeah, absolutely. So what they do is, they put out these star ratings to help, um, potential, Medicare patients or Medicare users, so that they can choose their insurance plan. It's just like when you have your open enrollment for at work or whatever, and you get to change
Yeah.
your insurance carrier or whatever. So now that way, when they get presented with like this information, and they could say, okay, well, this place is a 3.5 star, and this is what they offer, this is what my copay is going to be. And then they look at the next one, and okay, well, this one's also a 3.5 star, but the copay is lower, but they don't offer this benefit. And so it's just comparison things. But the star rating's meant to, you know um be an indicator for somebody on which plan to choose. So that's why, if you the higher the star rating, probably the more apt people would be to choose to select your plan, which will get us more lives under management. So yeah, so they could knock some people down, they could, bring some people up. There's so much that could happen, and you're kind of in competition with all these other insurance carriers, right? Um, there goes the bell right now.
Yeah. So, yo, that's a great segue. We got a bell here. Oh, Ghost is here. Ghost, you better get your water up too, bro. I know it's early for you too. I got something pink and colorful here that I'm gonna get the day going with.
What is that?
It's a pink Whitney. I guess it's sponsored by Barstool Sports, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's got that right here. It says Barstool Sports. I don't know, you probably can't see it, but it's a New Amsterdam vodka that's pink. I guess Barstool's got some kind of sponsorship thing going on it. And I don't know what spittin' chiclets means, but that's what it says over here. I guess that's a Barstool thing.
Oh, that's
And,
awesome.
yeah, it looks pretty disgusting.
All right, I got my water with you.
I'm going to give it a rip. Ready? Here we go. Let's have a green day. Nasty. Nasty. That is bad. It's rough, man. Very, very rough. I don't know. This would be really good if you had I don't know. I can't even think what this would be good with. This would be good with like it tasted kind of lemonade-y, like a pink lemonade.
Okay.
But it's like a pink lemonade if you like poured it over grass, like mixed it up and poured it over grass and dirt. You know what I mean? And then you just drank it. That's what it was kind of like. It has like an earthy lemonade taste. Real gross.
Your pal Al just said what spitting chiclets is.
Oh, well, yeah. I got that much of it and could figure that much out. But I didn't know if it's kind of like a catchphrase for somebody or a a thing. I don't know. Like a Barstool Sports thing, is it? I don't know. Do you pay attention to Barstool Sports?
Nah, I'm honestly, man, I haven't been watching TV lately. I've been doing any. I know that's more online, but I'm just saying I haven't been doing anything on YouTube, TV. I listen to talk radio on my way. Really, and the only time of year that I do listen to like sports talk radio is during football season. It's just because every football season I'm out of the loop. I don't watch the news. I don't do nothing because I'm just like too busy doing other shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I haven't normally, yeah, I would kind of be in tune with what's going on with Barstool. I have all kinds of TV shows I love watching and all kinds of shit, but during football season everything's just on the DVR.
Yeah, it
backing up.
shuts down. And yeah, I
Yeah.
get you, man. Like,
And that's the only
that's a
time I really don't
play.
like listening to like sports talk radio and stuff, but during football season, I keep it on just so that I can stay up to date with anything. You know what I mean? Like shit, because
Yeah.
they come in and they'll talk about other stuff too, and it just because otherwise, like I said, I haven't been just been busy. I've been just recording shit. I can't wait to watch. You ever watch Billions?
I love Billions.
So I know
I
that one's
haven't come
back
up with the
out,
next
right?
episode yet.
See, I've just been recording the whole new season because I haven't had time, but I know that one's back out, and that's one that I'm looking forward to watching. And then there's another one that's pretty cool too. Succession, I think it's called.
Love Succession. Can't wait for it to come back.
I think that
Love
one's
it.
coming
Love
back like next week, but same thing. I just have
Yep.
it on the DVR, getting ready to jump back into it once things start slowing down. And I mean, really, even like it's everything, not just high school football. I got both my sons are playing flag football, so two different leagues. So or not two different leagues, but two
you
different
coaching
teams.
both teams?
Yeah. So it's a 7 and 8 team. We practice on Thursdays from 5 to 6. And then right after that, the 9-10 team comes and we practice from 6 to 7. So it's like, so that's 2 hours, but then that's like 5 hours out on Sundays because it's like practice, game, turnaround, practice, game. And then my older son is playing in 2 basketball teams right now. He's playing on a rec league, which is like you just show up on Saturdays and, you play against all the other teams that are in that league.
Just shoot whatever, yeah.
Always at the same place. But then he's in a CYO where like it's kind of like an AAU type deal where they travel around and stuff. So he's got practice on Wednesdays and Thursdays for that. It's just, man, it's crazy.
You're riding around a lot, Coach. Riding around a lot.
Yeah, just from practice to practice, game to game. My own high school football practices.
Wow,
no
man.
time right now.
Yeah, I hear you. Not only is there no financial limits, but there's no time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The only
What's
football.
all this green? What do you got at the top here in the top left? It's a big green candle and a big red.
Oh, right here?
Yeah.
This is CLOV. So
what happened there?
Looks like this is a 1 minute though. So like if you go back and look at like a 5 minute, this is kind of really what happened, right? So this 5 minute candle went up, came back down. I mean, it doesn't look nearly as bad when you're looking at a 1 minute. It kind of looks like, all over the place.
Yeah, very dramatic.
Yeah.
Look at the MACD.
Yep. What do you got going there? So you got a busy day ahead of you or what?
I got about a dozen phone calls to make and a lot of yelling. And then, it's Friday and probably somewhere around whenever I feel that I've done enough for the day and gotten enough accomplished, I'll start, filling my glass with vodka and seltzer. You know what I mean?
I see Michael said he's going to start rewatching The Sopranos. Would you ever get into The Sopranos? No?
I never got it.
Oh, man, that's the other thing that's on my list right now is the Many Saints of Newark.
Yeah.
They just came out with that movie that's like the prequel to The Sopranos, and that looks. I used to watch The Sopranos every Sunday night, so back when it was.
I don't like how they kind of portray Italian Americans, and even the whole Jersey that it's like a lot of it's pretty accurate depiction, but it's kind of they throw a lot of stereotypical depiction in there too that I'm not really a fan of. Being from. That's where I'm from here, But I understand it's entertainment. It's just not a show that I enjoy. You know what I mean?
No. I get it. I get it. So you're more into like the Jersey Shore.
Oh yeah, right. that's like the worst show. Yeah, that's real bad. That's real bad.
Oh man,
you won't catch me down. I like going down the shore a lot in the summer, but you're not gonna catch me pumping my fist anywhere or anything like that. Nah. There's no gym tanning and laundry going on over here. Well, there's laundry, but there's no tanning, and certainly not really too much gym. That's for sure.
I need to get back in the gym, dude. I was just talking with I think Ghost about that the other day, man. Usually I would work out every day for years, and then it's like anything else. Once you kind of fall out, you know what I mean, and you get out of that routine,
it's hard
man.
to get back into.
Yeah. But well, shit, it's almost 6:40 right now. I'll probably sign off with you. But Scotty, I always like to let you kind of close us out, man, on Fridays. So real quick,
look, I got one more special one for the closeout. Okay, I know you got some. You might not want to have any more water for the day.
I'm gonna take
might
some
be
water
hydrated.
with you this time. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna give this one a rip. Look, let's everybody have a good weekend, a positive weekend. Think positive, be positive, stay positive. Because if you don't, you're gonna have a miserable weekend. And a miserable weekend's a worthless weekend in my book. Football on Sunday. I'm sure a lot of us will be paying attention to that. I'll be paying attention to CLOV today. Hey, I'm going to Disney next week, and on Friday we're gonna have to do a quick one from Disney. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
I'm gonna call you in from FaceTime at the Disney.
I'm jealous too,
like
man. I want to get back to Disneyland.
Nasty. This green apple nasty. Everybody have a great weekend. Coach, you have a great weekend, man.
You too,
Thank
Scotty.
you guys. Have a great weekend.
All right, everybody. Have a good weekend. Thanks for coming. I'll see you guys on Monday, hopefully.